Blues win it 7-5. Josh Allen accounted for all 3 touchdowns. Tyler Bass made a 29-yard field goal with 28 seconds remaining, and the Buffalo Bills escaped a 24-22 victory over the Chargers in Inglewood, California. That improves the Bills' playoff chances. Allen ran for 2 touchdowns, threw for 1. He's the first player in NFL history with 4 consecutive seasons with 40 combined touchdowns. The Bills have won 4 of 5. They are now 9-6 on the season. Buffalo turned the ball over 3 times to keep the Chargers in the game, but they win the game 24-22. And the Steelers kept their playoff hopes alive with a 34-11 win over the Cincinnati Bengals. Bengals fall to 8-7. Steelers improve to 8-7. There's a full slate of NFL games today, highlighted by Dallas at Miami at 3:25. 2 division leaders there. Chiefs play tomorrow. They host the Raiders at noon. It's a Christmas Day triple header tomorrow. The Giants visit the Eagles at 3:30. Ravens at 49ers at 7:15. And when we come back, we are joined by the chairman and governor of the St. Louis Blues, Tom Stillman, for a lengthy conversation about the organization's current status, the dismissal of Craig Berube, the promotion of Drew Bannister to interim coach, and what's to come for this organization, the health of the organization, and the NHL. When we return on KMOX's Sports on a Sunday morning on this Christmas Eve, back after this.
Royal Banks of Missouri is your community bank with locations throughout St. Louis, St. Charles, Northeast Missouri, Granite City, and Jerseyville, Illinois. A bank branch is not far away. Royal Banks brings in experienced staff and products and services designed to meet your professional and personal financial needs. Investing in our communities, one client at a time. Call 314-212-1500 today. Royal Banks of Missouri, member FDIC, and equal opportunity lender. Looking for a new home or to refinance your current mortgage? Royal Banks of Missouri wants to be your home buying partner. With a local staff that will guide you through the process, Royal Banks is an experienced mortgage lender that you can trust. There's still time to lock in on a low rate. Call 314-212-1500 today. Royal Banks of Missouri, where better service means better banking. Member FDIC and equal opportunity lender.
Hey guys, Glover here from my friends at ThrottleNet. So I'm so very proud to have represented the guys at ThrottleNet for all of these years. They are the IT geniuses. George and Mike are the owners. Fantastic guys. They can do all of your IT. They can do a portion of your IT. They have the best Apple support team. Their response time is under 2 minutes. Think about that, under 2 minutes. Something goes sideways with your IT, and they are solving your problem. And they're solving your problem within 2 minutes. Now, let's talk about cybersecurity. Most companies in St. Louis don't have cyber liability insurance. You get hit, you're on the hook, you're probably out of business. With ThrottleNet, if we represent you, we protect you. The first $500,000 that someone hits you for, which isn't going to happen, but if it does, we pay it. $500,000. That's what you're covered for with ThrottleNet. Go to throttlenet.com/DGS for all the information.
When a parent struggles with addiction or dies from a drug overdose, what happens to their children? Far too many end up in foster care, unable to ever return to their birth homes because it's simply not safe. The Dave Thomas Foundation for Adoption is fighting the clock so that teens don't age out of foster care, leaving them at a higher risk of addiction and other negative outcomes that can happen to a child without the love and stability of a permanent family. Learn more at davethomasfoundation.org.
Get into the holiday spirit and listen to The Christmas Station, 102.5 KEZK, for all the sounds of the season, from Mariah to the holiday classics. Plus, keep rocking around the Christmas tree no matter where you are with 102.5 KEZK on the free Odyssey app. Turning your home into a winter wonderland? Ask your smart speaker to play 102.5 KEZK. Enjoy the holiday season your way on the radio, on your smart speaker, and on the free Odyssey app.
Hi, I'm Tom Hoffman, president of Tom Hoffman Heating and Air Conditioning. I'll beat any competitor's price on a new furnace right now. Just call me, 314-471-7625.
Broadcasting from the Underlying Tree Lawyers, GetJim.com studios.
KMOX.
Welcome back to the Gray Bar Sports on a Sunday morning.
Goldschmidt swings and he hits a drive. He hits a slammer.
Gray Bar, your distributor for electrical and datacom needs.
Billikens win! Billikens win!
Once again, from the Stifel Financial Sports Studio, Tom Ackerman.
Welcome back, Sports on a Sunday morning on KMOX, and it is a pleasure to be joined by the chairman and governor of the St. Louis Blues, Tom Stillman, on this Christmas Eve. Merry Christmas and happy holidays to you and your family.
Merry Christmas to you, Tom. Happy holidays to all your listeners.
Well, we appreciate you being on KMOX, and let's look back at the year and also what's to come for the St. Louis Blues. And obviously, this has been a season of transition. You made major news here within the last week of the dismissal of Craig Berube and promoting Drew Bannister, the interim coach, to the position behind the bench. Just if we can chat about that for a little bit and that moment in time, a big moment in time for the St. Louis Blues.
Yeah, it's a tough situation. It's not the the most joyful part of our world, sports or professional hockey. We have nothing but just tremendous respect and affection for Chief, and we always will. He is and will be a folk hero here in St. Louis for decades to come. He's the first person to coach us to a Stanley Cup championship, and he did it in extraordinary fashion, taking us from last place to a championship in 6 months. I don't know if we'll see that again in many leagues. And so we just have nothing but great things to say and feel about Chief. It just comes a time when things aren't really working and you got to try some different things and go on a different route. And, that's what happens. I know that, I know that Chief understands that. I think I know our entire staff, people who have been involved in this game, in this league for decades, understand that doesn't make it any less sad or, unfortunate, because he's a great man. He's a great coach, and, he's done great things for our franchise.
During your championship run, which, as you just mentioned, was a remarkable moment in time, no doubt about it, what was the biggest attribute that he brought at that time to take you over the edge?
I think he got us into what I think of as pro sports nirvana. The situation in which professional players, each of them a business, each of them needing to play for and think about that next contract, about their points, about their stats, got them thinking instead about what can I do for this team? What can I do for the guy next to me? What can I do for my coaches? How can I subordinate everything about me to a team effort? And it's as you know, you've been around sports longer than I am. It's tough to reach that, and that's where he took us that year. That's with a group of veteran players and some young players, but had been in a lot of situations. He got us to that nirvana.
And ultimately, as you started this season and things were kind of going back and forth and the inconsistency, I know that decision was made, and that decision is made across the organization. Doug Armstrong executes that move, but it is, of course, approved by you and this group. I just, looking at Army, he puts a lot on himself. And I don't have to tell you that. You and I were at an event recently, the Jack Buck Awards, where he talked about all the times he thought he was going to get fired. In all seriousness, how do you evaluate Doug Armstrong right now and the task that he has in front of him?
I have now worked with Doug for, well, I guess it's 12, 13 years. So I've seen up close and personal just the way, not only his work ethic, but how careful and deliberate he is about any decision, especially anything like this. So these are the kind of things that are deliberated over, analyzed, looked at from every possible viewpoint for an extended period of time. That's just the way Doug is. Nothing is done quickly. Nothing is done anywhere near off the cuff. And that approach is going to continue, and that's what will be guiding us. I think we work very well together. I think see things pretty similarly, although we'll push each other back and forth on things. So we're looking at all views, but we're talking about a person of tremendous experience, and one of his attributes is that he reaches out for the views of others. And particularly, he knows that he never played in the league, so he will be particularly solicitous of views of former players and how they see things. So going forward, we are still in those good hands, and that process. And I understand there's some static out there about that, but there's a reason that Doug is chosen to be the GM of the Canadian Olympic team. There's a reason we won a cup here. There's a reason we've been able to remain competitive for long periods of time, despite not having high draft choice. So, I'm very confident about the future. We're going to keep going. This is not a group that's going to stumble and say, oh well, that didn't work. We're gonna keep going. We've got tremendous young players in the pipeline, and on we go.
Yeah, speaking of that, the World Juniors are coming up here in a couple of days after Christmas, and you have a number of prospects going. That's exciting.
We have 6 players in that tournament, and it was close to 7 or even 8 at one point. There were a couple on the bubble, so that's the most in recent memory, and that would be high among NHL teams at that number. So that would be really a lot of fun to watch for fans who are interested in that. It's on the NHL network early in the mornings. I think it starts on the 24th, and goes through the Christmas, New Year's holiday. So it's fun to watch. You'll see Snuggerud, you'll see Dvorsky, and a number of our other top prospects.
That's exciting for sure. And Tom Stillman is with us on KMOX. You have a lot of young players on this current roster. We've talked about a lot of them. I wanted to focus on Jordan Kyrou for a moment because it was an interesting 48 hours for him. He gets booed on Thursday, and then on Saturday he has a goal and 2 assists, and he gets cheered loudly. And I said, and tell me if you agree with this, I said my evaluation of everything that happened to Kyrou is this. In family, sometimes you have arguments, or sometimes you get reprimanded. And he was treated by the fans like family, I thought. They told him how they thought, and then they turned around 2 days later and they gave him a big hug. And it will be that experience for that young man, I think, in the league. This is the best league in the world, and expectations are high.
I think it's a great analogy. That is very much what happened. And at the end, he was still the beloved son. He just, duly noted. It was straightened out. He is such a good kid, and as a kid, he's 25, but he is so competitive and wants to do well. He wants so much to do well. I talked to him briefly after the second of those games, and I was just happy the way he handled it. He let people know how he felt, and came out well on the other side.
Drew Bannister comes in as interim coach. He'll get first crack at this coaching search, it appears, as you move forward. What does he bring to the table? It appears on the surface that he is going to hold players accountable, period.
Yeah, I think Doug's made it pretty clear what he wants. He summarized it as a higher level of compete and accountability. And I think we're seeing that from Drew. I think we saw that from him down in Springfield and our previous affiliations, and I think we'll see that going forward. He's also, he's pretty, direct in communication without be right. I think he knows how to communicate with people in this, guys in this generation, knows how to work with the leadership group and work with and through them. So he's gotten off to a good start.
How is the league, Tom, as we finish here in the last few minutes with Tom Stillman? It appears to me that the league is in one of its best places in terms of ground. Do you feel that? Is the NHL moving forward in a healthy place?
Yeah, it really is. I think we're as healthy as probably the league has ever been. I just remember, when I first got involved, there were so many franchises. There was a franchise fire, every other day. This one's in crisis, and this one's, and we really don't have that. Arizona is in a tough situation with its building, but other than that, the franchises are strong, league-wide revenues are strong. There's a lot of interesting things going on with access to players, and I think the game is the best it's ever been, with more speed and skill. So I think we're in a good place. Obviously, the regional sports network Valley question is out there. It's going to cause some short-term disruption, especially for Valley's teams like us. But it will get, it'll get resolved. It may be a year or two of more bumps before we, are in a new place. But I think that'll get resolved. And on a league-wide basis, in a league with revenues over $6 billion, I think that the total at stake there is somewhere around $250 million. So on a league-wide basis, it doesn't affect things that much. It affects some individual teams like us more, but on a league-wide basis, it's not something foundational.
That said, and final thing for Tom Stillman, how is this organization in terms of financial footing? I don't have to tell you that through the story of the Blues and looking in their history, there have been some ups and downs. There have been some changes in ownership and management, to say the least. But how are things at the moment for Tom Stillman and your fairly large investment group?
We are in good, stable financial position. The COVID situation wasn't helpful, but we're coming through that, and we remain, a very financially stable organization. We are never going to be an organization that has some kind of cash cow. There's never been a dividend, and I don't expect that there ever will be to the ownership, but I think that we can remain stable. What we need to do is to continue to grow revenue from current and newly created sources, because we have to keep up with the salary cap. Salary cap gets dragged upward by Toronto, Montreal, and New York. It's going to continue to go up, and the challenge for a more medium-sized market team is to keep up.
We appreciate this very much. Thank you for the time. Thank you for the overview of the Blues, not only in 23, but as we move into 24. Best of luck to you, and we'll be following you along the way. We look forward to catching up again soon.
All right, Tom, I appreciate it very much, and you have a great holiday, you and your family.
You too. That's Tom Stillman, Chairman and Governor of the St. Louis Blues. We'll take a break. Be back right after this on KMOX.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
The people have spoken. I want to thank you, St. Louis, for voting Onder Law 2023's best St. Louis law firm.
When you're injured, call Onder Law at 314 or 618-9000000.
This week on the Rachel Zimmerman Show, I talked to Trish Gazelle. I absolutely loved this interview. We dove deep into her career, all the fun stuff she's done, everything she's doing now. It's a great interview. I love Trish, and I know you will love her too if you aren't already a fan. You can hear it on Friday night at 9 p.m., Saturday morning at 7 p.m., or podcast the show on the Odyssey app or anywhere else you get your podcasts. That's Friday night at 9, Saturday morning at 7, right here on KMOX.
Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean. Of course I use Mr. Clean Magic Eraser to clean tough messes off my stovetop and bathtub. But then I discovered I can also use it to easily clean my patio furniture and even my shoes. I'm hooked.
And when wipes won't cut it, I use Magic Eraser Sheets. They're thin and flexible erasers, perfect for everyday messes, like gunk on my counters and sinks. They really are magical.
The reviews are in. Mr. Clean Magic Eraser and Sheets make cleaning look easy.
Get into the holiday spirit and listen to The Christmas Station, 1025 KEZK, for all the sounds of the season from Mariah to the holiday classics. Plus, keep rocking around the Christmas tree no matter where you are with 1025 KEZK on the free Odyssey app. Turning your home into a winter wonderland? Ask your smart speaker to play 102.5 KEZK. Enjoy the holiday season your way on the radio, on your smart speaker, and on the free Odyssey app.
How old are elves? Does Mrs. Claus have a first name? Is the fur attached to the top of Santa's boots or the bottom of Santa's pants? Some holiday mysteries may never be solved, but with holiday scratchers and draw games from the Missouri Lottery, finding the perfect gift doesn't have to be one of them. The spark of possibility that comes with every ticket versus the disappointment of yet another ugly holiday sweater. The better gift is clear. Give holiday scratchers and draw games from the Missouri Lottery. Play responsibly.
Audi Kirkwood is under construction, and our savings are through the roof. During our construction sales event, shop over 500 new Audis and get up to 10% off MSRP, complimentary home delivery, plus 2.99% financing on most remaining new 2023 Audi vehicles, including models like the Q8, Q5, e-tron, and more. Sales and service departments are open during normal business hours. Shop AudiKirkwood.com or visit us on Manchester Road in Kirkwood.
SNL Coin. We buy gold and silver coins, silver and gold jewelry. Also buying gold-filled and silver plates. Before you sell, call SNL. 314-544-3600. 314-544-3600. SNL Coin.
KMOX, KEZK HD2, K254CR, St. Louis.
This is CBS News on the Hour, presented by Indeed.com.
I'm Monica Ricks. Right now, security forces are patrolling Bethlehem, which is typically bustling with tourists around Christmas time. But this year, Tourism Minister Rula Maya tells us it feels more like a ghost town.
Unfortunately, this year, we're receiving Christmas without tourists from the world and without Palestinians from other governorates because of the war in Gaza.
She says Christmas decorations are scarce and most holiday activities have been canceled. Meantime, tensions are escalating on Israel's border with Lebanon. Israeli government spokesman Eylon Levy talked to the BBC.
We do not want to fight on two fronts, but the situation in the north now is escalating as Hezbollah appears hellbent on dragging Lebanon into a totally needless war.
President Biden has reportedly convinced Israel's prime minister not to expand the war from Gaza to Lebanon. In Washington, though, some Democrats are pushing the president to have Israel stop its offensive altogether. It has been a busy travel weekend ahead of Christmas tomorrow. Here's CBS's Elise Preston.
Millions of Americans are on the move.
How would you describe the traffic?
Crazy, crazy, crazy. Most of those on the go, 104 million, are traveling on highways and on roads, and they're packed. The low gas prices are fueling the holiday spirit. In 21 states, AAA says gas prices are under $3.
The nationwide average is $3.12. And it's already Christmas Day in other parts of the world, which means Santa's on the move. NORAD is tracking him.
NORAD radars have sensed movement near the North Pole. It appears that the elves have finished loading Santa's sleigh, and Santa has lifted off. Even loaded with all the gifts and goodies, Santa's sleigh seems to be moving lightning fast.
He's already hit China and Thailand. He just left the Maldives and is back in India. Scientists say 2023 was the hottest on Earth, with deadly wildfires and heat waves hitting record levels. Former Vice President Al Gore was on CNN's State of the Union this morning and says world leaders need to do something.
If you look at all the new electricity generation installed worldwide, 80% of it was solar and wind. In India, it was 93%. It's cheaper now, and it creates 3 times as many new jobs for each dollar invested compared to dollars invested in the old, dirty, polluting fossil fuels.
And South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham says he's going to war with New York if it passes a new bill that could force Chick-fil-A to stay open 7 days a week. Locations at rest stops along state highways would have to keep operating, but it's been closed on Sundays for decades. This is CBS News.
Make the hiring process work for you. With Indeed's end-to-end hiring solution, you can attract, interview, and hire candidates all from one place. Start at Indeed.com/credits.
Hi, I can help whoever's
Cooper's overnight shipping company has to deliver the goods.
Ship these gifts to your grandkids.
They need a logistics manager to keep the wheels turning.
126 packages going to Toronto, Tuscaloosa, Montreal, and Minneapolis. Oh boy.
Indeed can help them hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Instant Match instantly connects you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your sponsored job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean. Of course I use Mr. Clean Magic Eraser to clean tough messes off my stovetop and bathtub. But then I discovered I can also use it to easily clean my patio furniture and even my shoes. I'm hooked.
And when wipes won't cut it, I use Magic Eraser Sheets. They're thin and flexible erasers, perfect for everyday messes, like gunk on my counters and sinks. They really are magical.
The reviews are in. Mr. Clean Magic Eraser and Sheets make cleaning look easy.
On this Christmas Eve, we talked to some kids about the important stuff.
Do you know where the North Pole is?
That's where Santa lives and he makes toys for people. It snows every time. There's so much snow that it cannot melt at all. That's really, really cold, and it has all kinds of animals like walruses, penguins, and polar bears, and seals. And that's where Santa lives.
How far away is the North Pole?
100 hours.
Wow, that's a long time.
At least 24 hours.
So besides Santa, who lives in the North Pole?
Elves.
What's an elf?
An elf has twisted shoes and kind of like a silly little dress. Elves make presents and they help Santa.
Anything else you want to tell me about Santa?
He doesn't make toys for the kids that are bad.
And have you guys been bad?
No.
Stacey Lynn, CBS News.
I'm Monica.
Mid-America's most trusted source for news. KMOX.
At 11:05, we have sunny skies. The sun's peeking through some clouds right now. 61 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Stuart McMillan. Our top story this hour. The man St. Louis police sought in connection to a missing persons case is arrested in Wisconsin. Trenton Ivy was arrested Friday south of Milwaukee in Racine County. He was last seen with 29-year-old Marquisha Williams of North St. Louis on Wednesday. KMOX is waiting back to hear from police about whether Williams is still missing or not. She was driving a 2020 gray Jeep Compass, license plate EK6P6P. Ivy is still facing charges of using a dangerous weapon, resisting an officer, and fleeing from an officer on that arrest from Friday. A person was shot dead yesterday afternoon in University City near a gas station at Olive and Hanley. Witnesses told the University City Police Department they heard shots and a white Buick sedan driving away on Olive. Police say the victim was inside the sedan just before gunfire. State of Missouri expecting a decline in general revenue in 2024 following a record-setting budget approved earlier this year. And the projections are leaving some lawmakers concerned about the state's future.
This year, it looks like revenues actually may be going to shrink, if not barely grow. We're going to be in trouble, especially as these tax cuts are taking effect, trying to figure out how to pay the bills.
That's Missouri State Representative Peter Meredith from St. Louis. Governor Parson will outline his budget proposals during the annual State of the State address at the end of January. It's a constitutional requirement for the General Assembly to pass a balanced budget by May. After months of experiencing concerns with how City Police Department is being run, Deputy Public Safety Director Heather Taylor is resigning. We confirm a letter is effective with the new year.
As a person, I know her, and I know her integrity is most important, and she keeps that at the forefront. So I'm hoping that whatever made her move from this position, that she doesn't move from a position of fighting for her community, because she's damn good at it.
Alderwoman Shamim Clark Hubbard. Taylor was previously a homicide sergeant and president of the Ethical Society of Police, which represents Black officers. Taylor was appointed to the leadership post by Mayor Jones in 2021, but later complained of being sidelined. It seems that fans of true crime are intrigued with St. Louis. The city ranks pretty high among the 20 best U.S. cities for true crime tourism.
St. Louis ranked number 10 overall on the list. That's according to a study by the travel website Upgraded Points. A surge in popularity of true crime podcasts, TV shows, and documentaries have contributed to the interest in this niche form of tourism, which involves the practice of visiting locations associated with real-life crimes or other infamous criminal events. Other Midwest cities ranking high on the list include Chicago, Kansas City, Detroit, Cincinnati, and Indianapolis. Melanie Steen, KMOX News.
A few years ago, the news in St. Louis was dominated with stories of the Hyperloop.
But the much-hyped Hyperloop bites the dust as the company is shutting down. According to Bloomberg, Hyperloop is selling its remaining assets and laying off most of its employees at its Los Angeles headquarters. St. Louis bid on being a test center for the Hyperloop track between here and Kansas City that could transport people and cargo up to 640 miles per hour. But we lost out to West Virginia. Now it seems it wasn't such a big loss after all. Debbie Monterey, KMOX News.
Well, that fog burned off. A high of 67 degrees for today, sitting around 61 right now. Low 55 tonight, 61 the high for Christmas Day, and a rain possible. Stuart McMillan, KMOX News.
This is the Graybar Sports on a Sunday morning.
Goldschmidt swings and he hits a drive. He hits a slammer.
Graybar, your distributor for electrical and datacom needs. Now from the Stifel Financial Sports Studio, Tom Ackerman.
Hour number 2, Sports on a Sunday morning on KMOX. Thanks for being with us. If you want to go back to our interviews from last hour, our tribute to Mike Shannon, the interview that Travis Ford conducted with Bob Ramsey and Earl Austin Jr., and our visit, a good one, and we thank him very much, with Tom Stillman of the St. Louis Blues, the head of their ownership group, the chairman and governor of the team. This hour, it's sporting director Lutz Pfannenstiel, followed by a number of interviews we think you're really going to enjoy. Joey Logano, Lydia Olmstead, and the one and only Bill Bradley. But first, a visit with Lutz. Every 11 o'clock hour at the start, we visited with the sporting director of St. Louis City SC. This one in particular was an important one and a good one. It was right before the team's home opener at City Park.
St. Louis City SC for the first time ever, right here at its new home in downtown St. Louis.
Now, Y98 presents 90 in 60. A look back at St. Louis City's first ever home opener against Charlotte FC.
Diving save. Charlotte trying to go to the ice cream and custard stand here, and they will. 1-0 Charlotte. City's going to have to battle back once again. 2 with the left foot, looking for Klaus. Chip by Charlotte. It's in! City goal! Moving, ready. And he got it! Top shelf! What a moment! It's stolen away by Klaus! And Klaus scores! City lead 3-1! And there it is! It is a 3-1 St. Louis City SC winner.
This has been 90 in 60. City SC travels to Portland to take on the Timbers this coming Saturday. Pre-game at 9, kick at 9:30 on Y98 St. Louis.
And with that, we bring in the sporting director of St. Louis City SC, Lutz Pfannenstiel. Lutz, congratulations on the win. And when you hear those highlights, what do you feel?
Yeah, thank you very much. First of all, I mean, it's great. Yesterday, the energy already before the game in the stadium, in the city, and then obviously getting transported onto the field, coming out as a winner. Again, I think it was definitely another very special moment. And for me, it was a little bit, like football's coming home. I thought we did bring it home yesterday. We somehow also confirmed that the win last week in Austin was not some kind of fluke or beginner's luck. I think we played good enough football yesterday to also deserve that second win in a row.
I hear that. You absolutely did play well enough to win, and you're now 2-0, just the fourth expansion team in MLS history to start a season 2-0, and you do it in dramatic fashion. Is it a bit of a relief as well, do you think, for everybody to get this one under your belt and now embark on this journey that you know is going to be long?
Yeah, definitely. The first home game in the stadium, I think there is a certain pressure there, even if you talk yourself into it, you don't have any pressure. It's there because you want to show the people here, after waiting for 17 years for that moment, that we can do it and that we want to do it. And if you looked at the first few minutes, there was definitely a little bit of nerves there. The players didn't look that comfortable, but which was pretty normal. Having said that, after they settled in, I think you could feel that relief on the field, as well as I think with the coaching staff and myself. And from then on, till we conceded that counter goal, I think we played some really, really good football and should have been up early enough in the game. Unfortunately, we missed it, and then it became a game once Charlotte scored.
Absolutely. And then when Klaus scored to make it 3-1, the place erupted, and they knew that victory was near. Berkey made a save to keep it 3-1, and the final whistle, 3-1, the final against Charlotte. Just focusing on Klaus, he had an opportunity in the first 5 minutes of the game. He had another one that was stopped in the 59th minute, and then he got the goal to put you up 2. He's so big and so agile and has so much skill. He's going to be really someone to watch among others, isn't he, Lutz?
Yeah, I mean, 2 games, 2 goals, clear message, I think, to the rest of the league that he's a guy you have to watch. I mean, I took him as an 18-year-old boy when he was still a kid to Hoffenheim. I know him since literally in the first footsteps of professional football. So I know what he's capable of. And again, yesterday, Tom, the work rate he put in after working that first chance, which just missed, but then always got really, really good into pressing moments, was always available, made some deep runs, always waiting for these long balls to play and put his body on the line. And then if you looked at that finish in the 70th minute, he doesn't really play like a Brazilian. He doesn't look like a Brazilian either on the field. But once he gets that opportunities, then he's there and he scores. And yesterday I had a little bit of, I think it was a Brazilian finish because it was technically an amazing finish.
Your midfielder, Blom, is some player. I mean, he creates a lot for his teammates. He blows up tackles. He is something special, isn't he? I can't take my eyes off him.
Yeah, Blom still needs to get a little bit adjusted to U.S. football. I mean, that's normal because he played all his life, his young career in the South African League, where you have a little bit more time on the ball. But when it comes to interceptions, when it comes to tackles, when it comes to actually winning the ball, that's amazing. His numbers, his statistics there are really also something to look at. So he's that hardworking player. I always said I want to have a monster. I want to have a killer, a warrior next to Eduard Löwen, and that's exactly what we got with Blom.
There are so many on this team. We could go all day talking about individual players, but I want to circle back to your captain, Roman Berkey, and what he means to this group, and Tim Parker, for that matter, who is assisting him in the captaincy, and what that means to a group of players, Lutz, who are young and hungry and want to be successful, and how they try to balance it out.
Yeah, that was the last few times we spoke. I always said we want to have that hungry way of football with lots of young players, a very young squad. If you look at what came again from the bench, it's youngsters, it's kids, which that is what we want. But then you need to have these 1, 2, 3 players which have a certain level of experience, which have been there and they've done it. And I think with Roman Berkey, when he was called in action yesterday late in the game with that save in the second half, it was extremely important. Looking at Tim Parker, the way he marshals his defense, also the way he literally barks instructions to the players, the loudest voice I ever heard in professional football. That's two key players. That's 2 leaders in the back who really also control the pace, but also control the emotions of a very, very young squad. And it's extremely important to have these guys around the youngsters, to see them as role models every day in the training session, but also, of course, at games. And that's definitely, I think, a key to success, to have these players involved.
This is Lutz Pfannenstiel, the sporting director of St. Louis City SC. We will talk to him every Sunday here on KMOX, and every Monday at 9:35 tomorrow morning, we'll hear from head coach Bradley Carnell. But if you could take us behind the scenes with your coach, you brought him along. He had the MLS experience. How is he doing? And what have the two of you discussed following this tremendous victory at home, 3-1 over Charlotte?
I mean, we were basically talking the whole day, to be honest, the whole week. So it was no different from pre-season or even last year when we were still in the next pro. The communication is always the same, that we're talking literally first thing in the morning and last thing in the evening, and then in the course of the day as well. I mean, it's for Bradley, of course, it's also a very emotional time. I mean, it's his first job as a head coach, and I think the start he had is unbelievable. As you said, it's not many teams who manage that. Lots of expansion teams decided to go for a very experienced older coach who was running the show for many, many years before. I knew that Bradley will be the guy I want to have here, because I know exactly that he understands the football I want to play. He grew up in this system. He loves to play the pressing and counter-pressing. He was like that as a player, and he transformed his playing style into his coaching style. And that just fits literally perfect to the club's idea. It fits to our philosophy. It fits to St. Louis. It fits to the Midwest. And I think that grinding out games like yesterday, that's what Bradley enjoys. Also, lots of nice tactical changes. Also, a little tactical adjustment from last week's game with a complete different opponent. So far, I think Bradley can sit in his chair and smile and be very, very proud. But knowing him, I think he put the green tag yesterday on that game. And I think from 2 a.m. onwards, when he's probably still watch Portland, the highlights of Portland, I think his mindset is already out for this week and the upcoming game. So he's, I will call it addicted to success, addicted to work. And that's exactly why he's here.
Yeah, exactly. How good is Portland, Lutz?
Definitely a very good team. Again, they are the big favorite. I'm smiling when I'm saying it, because if I look back in the last 2 weeks, I think everybody is the big favorite against us, and I love it. So let's just keep it that way. I watched them in Coachella because they were there at the same time at the training camp, where they looked fantastic. I think that a decent start in the season, beating Kansas, deserved, and also yesterday against LAFC, against the current champion, I think they had a hard-fought game. So it's definitely a team which comes over lots of great individual players, but they also have, the fans there are really, really good. I played during my Vancouver Whitecaps time as a player. I love to play in Portland because the atmosphere was always crazy. I'm really looking forward to meet the Timbers Army again, because it's somehow, it's a little bit emotional for me as well, because I played there so many times. But it's one of the big guns in the Western Conference. It's one of the teams which a huge tradition in the league. So, we're trying our best again. We will fight, and we're trying to find a way to pick something up there, of course.
Yeah, it's pretty fun to think about, isn't it? And I wonder, I don't know how much you paid attention to it or not, but when the experts will start to walk back some of their comments about St. Louis City SC's talent level.
I didn't really care much when they said it the first place. Well, I don't really. I mean, our media boss, John Speroni, actually put it right in front of me, I think, to get me a little bit fired up, which worked very well. But I don't really, it's no point for me to look at it in the first place. So I don't look now when they stepping back a bit. The truth, in the end of the day, Tom, is always on the field. It was yesterday on the field. It will be next year on the field. And we are an expansion team. We have to accept that. But we know what we can do. We know our talent level. And the most important thing, we know what we are capable as a team, that we will work hard, that we can really rely on each other, that we're going to work for each other. And as I said, lots of people coming up now to me as well and talk about the DPs and the DP here. It's not about Klaus. It's not about Löwen. It's about the whole team. Everybody on the field yesterday, everybody on the bench puts exactly the same effort in as everybody else. So I just simply don't like this idea to keep on talking about the DP status. We are St. Louis City SC. We are a team. We're enjoying it. And everybody helps each other out. That is what it's all about. And that is what we want to be seen for as a team.
That's right. Let the fans take care of all the other stuff. They are very smart. They are very exuberant, and they love around here the underdog role. They embrace it. So they'll take care of that end for you, Lutz. Continued success to you. Congratulations on a terrific win, and we'll catch up with you real soon.
Thank you very much. Talk to you next week.
Talk to you then. Lutz Pfannenstiel.
Always great to hear from Lutz Pfannenstiel. When we come back, Joey Logano, the defending champion of the Enjoy Illinois 300, visited with us just before the start of NASCAR's race at Worldwide Technology Raceway. Back after this, Sports on a Sunday Morning, sponsored by Gray Bar.
It's not too late. The Polar Express is here through December 30th. Begin your journey at St. Louis Union Station Train Park, where you will meet the conductor inviting you to board the Polar Express train ride. Meet Santa Claus and his elves, interact with the Polar Express characters, and see St. Louis from 200 feet up and feel the magic of the Christmas story everybody loves. The Polar Express at Union Station. Book your trip at stlpolarexpressride.com. All aboard the Polar Express.
When it's chilly, there's nothing dreamier than coming home, unless your furnace is on the fritz and your home is less than cozy. No worries. Just call the Fix-It-Right guys at Jerry Kelly. They're fast, they're friendly, and they do have it going on. Whether it's a minor mend or a full install, they'll do it quick and do it right. For a consistently cozier home, call Jerry Kelly. 8A to 8P, 7 dreamy days of the week. Or at JerryKelly.com.
There's no gift that's more beautiful, more versatile, and more meaningful than a beautiful piece of jewelry. And there's no better place to shop than Diamonds Direct, where making memorable moments is our specialty. Last minute shopper? Relax. This holiday season, we put together our most impressive selection of can't miss gifts you can get today. Rings, earrings, pendants, bracelets, bands for every taste and every price range. And don't miss our amazing collection of Swiss timepieces, including pre-owned Rolex watches you can't find anywhere else. Need more inspiration? Check out our online gift guide and even chat with a virtual assistant at diamondsdirect.com. Ask about flexible financing options as well. Connect with Diamonds Direct and let us help you choose that perfect headliner gift at the absolute best value price. Get all the details, special showroom hours, and lots of ideas now at diamondsdirect.com. At Olive and 270, official partner of the St. Louis Blues and proud to call the Gateway City home. Diamonds Direct, your love, our passion.
Carol Daniel here for PNC C-Speak, the language of executives. This month, we welcome Dave Peacock, CEO of Advantage Solutions. When asked what approaches have remained constant in his industrious career, Dave quickly replied, make the decision and then make the decision right. C-Speak shares stories and pioneering approaches of successful business leaders that we hope will spark growth in your business. Listen today at KMOX.com/PNC C-Speak or wherever you get your podcasts.
Hi, I'm Jim Brennan. In celebration of McKelvey Homes' 125th anniversary, we are having our biggest sale of the year. Save up to $89,000. Get special financing in the fives and free closing costs on all move-in ready homes. Visit The Preserve on McKenzie Road near Watson, a beautiful community with 4 lakes, nature trails, and wooded home sites. We have a variety of homes from the 400s, including our villa and estate homes. Don't miss this opportunity to save big and get in before the holidays. Visit McKelveyHomes.com.
Welcome back to the Gray Bar Sports on a Sunday morning.
Goldschmidt swings and he hits a drive. He hits a slammer.
Gray Bar, your distributor for electrical and datacom needs.
Billikens win! Billikens win!
Once again, from the Stifel Financial Sports Studio, Tom Ackerman.
We're back on this Christmas Eve, Sports on a Sunday morning on KMOX. Great to be with you. I'm Tom Ackerman. Our producer is Drew Young. And this is our visit with Joey Logano, at the time the defending champion of the Enjoy Illinois 300. What a run this has been for Worldwide Technology Raceway in Madison, Illinois, as we come up on the 3rd NASCAR Cup race this coming year, 2024, we take a look back at a very proud and very impressed driver, Joey Logano. Welcome back to KMOX. You know, Chris Blair, the general manager of Worldwide Technology Raceway, told me, hey, can you do a live hit from the stadium and see if you can grab a guest? I said, well, I'll do my best. How about the defending champion at the Enjoy Illinois 300? That would be Joey Logano. It's great to have you in St. Louis. We're 1 month out from this race. How about that?
Yeah, we're almost back, and I'm excited to be back in town, at least for today, and get to check out the track here earlier. Everything's looking good, and some good renovations going on inside the garage areas to help the fan experience some, and ready to go back and try to win it again.
Went so well. You were very impressed with the operation of the race.
Yeah, it was. I thought it was a huge win for the sport and obviously for St. Louis and the racetrack out here, mainly because it was such a great event, right? Like, the race was great, and obviously we won, and that was fun and probably extra special for me, but I thought for all the fans it was a great experience because it wasn't just a race. It was a total event. They had concerts before the race, they had concerts after the race, they had stuff going on for people to do is stay entertained all day long, right? So if you get there early to beat traffic, there was stuff to do, right? You didn't have to just sit there and wait. And so I think the whole facility did a fantastic job at taking the opportunity of having a NASCAR Cup Series race in St. Louis and knocking it out of the ballpark.
It was the first time that we had NASCAR Cup drivers on that track. And I remember Saturday was a big day for everybody because we wanted to see how do the drivers think, how do they react. It was a good reaction, wasn't it, the day before?
Oh, yeah, they did a great job at the track. I mean, I remember coming here years and years ago for an Xfinity race, and that was the first time back in 10-plus years for me. And so just getting some laps back on the racetrack, obviously pavement was different from then, so had some things that were new. And, I think on Saturday we all enjoyed it, but the true test is the race, right? And so Sunday, I think the race showed up to be a good race. Turns 1 and 2 got really wide, which is, as a driver, you kind of want that. It gives you options so you can move around the racetrack, try to pass cars. A lot of strategy options as there's quite a few cautions throughout the race. And then a green-white checker overtime finish, right? Like, what else could you ask for the pass coming to the white flag? Pretty cool.
You and Kyle Busch, and you joined Kyle Busch last year as multiple NASCAR Cup champions. What an experience. What a year.
Yeah, it definitely was a great year. A lot of ups and downs throughout it, as you'd expect with a new car that was introduced last year. There's a lot of learning curve that went along with it. But we peaked at the right time, and part of that was winning here in St. Louis. We were actually kind of coming out of a slump. We went through a couple of wrecks right before that, and then we were able to kind of get our head back above water after leaving here in St. Louis. Was great.
You've won 32 races. You're 32 years old. Does one stand out? Is it Daytona in 2015?
I think there's some that are obviously special and they stand out. Yes, Daytona's big. I would say the championship races are even bigger, or the races that get you to that are big. But I do also think, too, winning an inaugural event is something that's really special, right? And you think of what happened here at Worldwide Technology Raceway last year as the inaugural winner, like this only happens the first time, one time, right? And so to get that was a special one for sure.
Daytona was a close shave, this one. I mean, this last one, oh my gosh. I said, I watched it, I know. But I watched it, I said, I think he just won it. It was just, just the way it turns out. I mean, now that you're removed from that a little bit, what are your feelings like looking back at it? Obviously, at the time, it's tough.
You're always going to be frustrated being that close to winning the Great American Race and not winning it, right? Like right there, just a caution coming out a little sooner changes the answer of who won the race. But, we were in position. We were doing everything correctly. It is what it is. You got to be in those positions multiple times to win. And so as long as we're sitting there, right, and obviously we want to win that one. You got to wait a whole another year to have an opportunity to win the Daytona 500, but we were really close.
Let's talk to fans who aren't as familiar with NASCAR. How would you sell the experience to a sports fan? This, Joey, is one of the best sports towns in the country. We saw it last year. They sold it out. There are a lot of people that want to go that couldn't go last year.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's much selling needed. When you think about what NASCAR race it is and the event and the experience that you have, right? And I always say, if you've never watched a race on TV, that's okay. Just go, right? Just go to the racetrack, and then you have this whole experience. There's nothing like having 40 cars come blowing by you at 170 miles an hour. It's just nothing like it. You can't experience that anywhere else, bumper to bumper, and all that. I mean, there's nothing even comparable. And so you have to go to really do that. And so many times I've heard someone say, I've never watched NASCAR race, but I went once and now I am hooked. It's such a sport that just, it's easy to grab onto when you're there, just because all the sights and sounds and feelings that you get.
It is going to be amazing. Speaking of sounds, they'll have music. Dierks Bentley is going to close out the night on June 4th. The race is Sunday, June 4th, but it's a whole weekend of activity, June 2nd through the 4th. There's so much to take in. Qualifying Saturday, the race Sunday. It's the Enjoy Illinois 300 Worldwide Technology Raceway. Man, I mean, let's go.
Let's do it. I'll see you there.
Madison, Illinois will be the site, 5 minutes from the Arch. Joey Logano is the defending champion. Thank you so much for joining us for a few moments.
All right. Thank you very much. See you in a month.
And again, our congratulations to Curtis Francois, Chris Blair, and the great group at Worldwide Technology Raceway on their success, and to Kyle Busch, who won the race this past year. The Enjoy Illinois 300 rolls on as year number 3 is fast approaching at the racetrack. We'll take a break. When we come back, you never know what you're going to see or experience at the ballpark. And in the case of Lydia Olmstead, a special moment, and she's had a few, that she will never forget. We'll introduce you, if you do not know Lydia, and what happened to her in an incredible moment at Busch Stadium last year. I'm Tom Ackerman. We return to Sports on a Sunday Morning after these words.
KMOX Weekend at your service, sponsored by Air Comfort Service, Heating, Cooling, and Installation.
Hey guys, Glover here with my friends Mark and Neil Gelman from the Gelman team of eXp Realty. Selling your home, every situation is unique. Find the best options that are right for you from the real estate team who offer more options. My friends Mark and Neil Gelman. Check out the only agents that I trust at thegelmanteam.com.
Nobody wants a surprise in their jelly donut. It's toothpaste? That's because the middle is the most important part. At Graybar, we're at the middle of electrical and datacom jobs across the country, connecting installers, facility managers, and business owners with smart solutions for their most challenging projects, which means stocking and delivering crucial products on time and on budget with no surprises, thanks to our nationwide logistics network. Yep, Graybar does that.
With Hardee's Double Deals, get a double cheeseburger or bacon double cheeseburger starting at just $2.99. That's double the Hardee goodness with 2 charbroiled patties and cheese. Or double the Hardee goodness with 2 charbroiled patties and cheese and bacon. Both starting at only $2.99. Hardee's, goodness in the making. These items only. Price and participation may vary. Tax not included. Visit restaurant or app for details.
Charlie Brennan once again with Dr. Colleen Bosler at the Audiology Center. Dr. Bosler, is it possible we might say, oh, those kids are mumbling, when the problem really is our own inability to hear?
Exactly. Hearing is integral in everything that we do. It keeps us involved and embraced in life. Not hearing someone is never normal. Ringing in the ears is never normal. And when people have a hearing loss, oftentimes they complain that they can hear, but they cannot understand people. And avoiding getting a hearing aid can have long-term effects on the speech reception area of the brain. So what that means is if you test and treat the hearing loss early with a hearing aid, we can prevent a decline in the speech understanding that can happen if the hearing loss goes untreated.
The words of Dr. Colleen Bosler at the Audiology Center. 3 locations in St. Louis, 636-441-7470, theaudiologycenterstl.com.
The T.R. Hughes Homes for the Holiday sale is going on now for the rest of the year with unbelievable savings. Hi, I'm Tom Hughes with T.R. Hughes Homes. We have several brand new completed T.R. Hughes homes that are ready now for immediate move-in. Some of these homes are already discounted between $30,000 and $50,000 off regular price, and each home will be discounted another $5,000 every week in December until they're gone. Wait a week or 2 or 3 for a lower price and take the chance someone else just bought your dream home. Wooded half-acre home sites in Arbor Valley and Winsville. A beautiful country setting in Riverdale, just 9 minutes from the St. Peter's Deerbergs, and Charlestown Landing in St. Charles City near Newtown. Don't miss this unbelievable chance to save tens of thousands of dollars on completed, move-in ready T.R. Hughes homes. This sale is over on December 31st. All of us at T.R. Hughes Homes would like to say thank you to the several thousand families that have trusted us to build your dream home over the last 30 years. From our family to yours, we would like to wish everyone a very Merry Christmas and a safe and prosperous New Year.
Broadcasting from the underlying Three Lawyers, GetJim.com studios.
KMOX.
Why are New Balance shoes so good? Because New Balance uses quality materials and craftsmanship that make our shoes perform. At New Balance St. Louis, we have a large selection of quality footwear in a variety of sizes and widths. Our fit pros are extremely knowledgeable and take the time to understand your specific goals and activities. Customer service, quality shoes, and selection makes all the difference when selecting the perfect pair. New Balance St. Louis, located in Creve Coeur and Richmond Heights. Nationally known, locally owned.
Welcome back to the Gray Bar Sports on a Sunday morning.
Goldschmidt swings and he hits a drive. He hits a slammer.
Gray Bar, your distributor for electrical and datacom needs.
Billikens win! Billikens win!
Once again, from the Stifel Financial Sports Studio, Tom Ackerman.
We're back on Sports on a Sunday morning on KMOX. Tom Ackerman with you. Hope you're having a great Christmas Eve and looking forward to spending time with our friends and family here in the KMOX family. And from our family to yours, we wish you a very special holiday season. Lydia Olmstead had a very special moment at Busch Stadium, that's for sure, as we discovered at the ballpark something we had never seen before. There is something very special about the game of baseball, something magical about the game of baseball, and in this case, something miraculous. We take you to the seats from last night. All right, I'm in the seats, section 147, with Lydia Olmstead, my longtime friend, who just did something that I have never done. And I've been to a lot of games. What did you do, Lydia?
Well, Tom, I caught a foul ball. It just literally landed in my hand while I was sitting here in the seat. Evelyn was trying to duck and get out of the way, and then all of a sudden the ball was in my hand, and I was like, oh, I'm holding the ball. And everyone was looking for it.
I'll have you tell our audience why I am so in awe of the fact that you caught this baseball. Tell us about yourself, a longtime Cardinals fan, and again, a great friend of mine.
Yes, absolutely. So I'm 21, and I do also happen to be blind, so I don't have any sight, and also have a significant hearing impairment. But yeah, again, it was just amazing how that ball just landed in my hand very gently. It was definitely meant to be, no question.
Did you hear it off the bat, or did you hear the commotion of the people?
A little bit of both, mostly the commotion and people scrambling to get out of the way. And I happened to be one of them, but yet it still landed right in my palm.
Did Cardinals personnel come over to talk to you after that?
They sure did, yes. They actually were asking like who my favorite player is and let me know that they were going to send me a certificate in the mail for catching the ball.
They might try to sign you up for something. I think that's a possibility, but that's a heck of a play. Have you let go of this ball since you caught it? Have you shared this with anybody? I see you holding it in your right palm right now.
Yes. Well, I've had to set it down a couple times to message you and a few other people. But yeah, I've been holding on to it really tight.
That you're here with your mom. Tell us about your family.
So I'm with my mom, Julie. And yeah, we come to games all the time. We love it here at Busch Stadium.
What do the Cardinals do for you in your everyday life? I'll start. For me, the Cardinals are always there. You know, no matter what kind of a day you have, they're on the air. They're there for us. What is it for you?
Well, I would definitely echo what you said. And for me, it's just everyone is so nice here at Busch Stadium. It's really like a second home for me. And a lot of people here, it just really feels like family to me. And yeah, just the fact that everyone is so kind, so helpful, professional. And like you were saying too, you know, just the legacy of the Cardinals and all that this franchise does. I mean, what isn't there to love, right? I mean, I know, again, it's been a tough year, but overall, like, it's just so fun to come to games, or listen on the radio. And yeah, that's the main reasons that I really love the Cardinals.
Lydia, what is next for you? And it's coming soon.
Yes. So I have a few things coming up. I'm going to be the keynote speaker at the statewide Services for Independent Living conference in Missouri. It'll be in downtown Columbia this upcoming Monday night. And then the following Monday, I'm going to be the first ever recipient of the Senator Chuck Graham Award, which is intended to recognize individuals with disabilities who are advocating in the community.
Congratulations on that. It's very, very, very much deserved, and I cannot wait to see what's next for you. You've done so much. You're only 21.
Yeah. Thank you.
It's great to catch up with you. Congratulations on a great catch.
Thank you so much. Thank you for the interview.
Our thanks to Lydia and her mom, Julie, for helping set that up. It certainly was one of our favorite moments. And by our viewers and listeners, it was certainly one of the most popular interviews we did on KMOX's Sports on a Sunday Morning all season long. When we come back, it's Bill Bradley, the former U.S. Senator, the terrific basketball Hall of Famer, and Crystal City native on his Lifetime Achievement Award at the Musial Awards, which aired this afternoon at 4 o'clock on CBS. I'm Tom Ackerman. We'll be back. Sports on a Sunday Morning, sponsored by Gray Bar.
Happy holidays, St. Louis. It's your Congresswoman, Cori Bush, here to wish you a safe and joyful holiday season. Our office has proudly helped thousands of constituents over the years, and we are ready to help thousands more. We can assist you with Social Security and Medicare, tax refunds, passports, veterans benefits, small business loans, immigration, and more. Visit our website at bush.house.gov or call our office at 314-955-9980. Paid for by official funds authorized by the House of Representatives.
This holiday season, the St. Louis Men's Clinic is here to bring you joy with a special $49 office visit, including a private consultation with one of their doctors, all in-office testing and lab work. Over a decade of expertise in treating erectile dysfunction means personalized and affordable plans. Don't wait. Call 314-282-8700. That's 282-8700, or visit stlmensclinic.com to take advantage of this $49 special. Happy holidays from the St. Louis Men's Clinic.
Consumer Cellular offers the exact same nationwide 5G coverage as the major carriers, even in bumper-to-bumper traffic. Their 100% US-based support is just a click or a call away. Visit your local retail store in St. Louis to switch today.
Audi Kirkwood is under construction, and our savings are through the roof during our construction sales event. Shop over 500 new Audis and get up to 10% off MSRP, complimentary home delivery, plus 2.99% financing on most remaining new 2023 Audi vehicles, including models like the Q8, Q5, e-tron, and more. Sales and service departments are open during normal business hours. Shop AudiKirkwood.com or visit us on Manchester Road in Kirkwood.
Your garage door is the largest piece of moving equipment in your home. When it needs help, call the experts at Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. Their certified technicians repair all brands of doors and openers, and you can even schedule evening and weekend service. Just call 314-781-5200 and always look for the red ribbon. It's your assurance you've got the genuine, the original Overhead Door, the most trusted garage door company in St. Louis since 1926. For same-day service, schedule online at overheaddoorsstlouis.com. 314-781-5200.
Warmest wishes for a joyous holiday season and a happy new year from your friends at Odyssey and Onder Law Injury Lawyers.
Welcome back to the Gray Bar Sports on a Sunday Morning.
Goldschmidt swings and he hits a drive. He hits a slammer.
Gray Bar, your distributor for electrical and datacom needs.
Billikens win! Billikens win!
Once again, from the Stifel Financial Sports Studio, Tom Ackerman.
Christmas Eve on Sports on a Sunday Morning on KMOX. Tom Ackerman back with you. And now a look at Bill Bradley, as I had a chance to visit with the former U.S. Senator, his great honor at the Musial Awards, and setting up what will be a very special night at 4 o'clock late this afternoon. They will be airing this special on CBS.
Pass underneath Medicinger, lays it up, blocked by Reed, pulled down by Russell, up court with Bradley on the left, a pass to Bradley, jump shot, left side, goal! Bill Bradley connects on his first field goal attempt, 40-23 the score.
On the Quiver River Electric guest line is Crystal City native, former U.S. Senator and New York Knicks basketball Hall of Famer Bill Bradley is with us on KMOX. Is that a young Marv Albert I heard right there, also making his debut?
I don't know. I think It had to be Marv, but I didn't sound like him.
I know. I think that was a young Marv Albert, about 25, 26 years old. What do you, before
In your introduction, you forgot to mention that I worked for KMOX.
Yes, you did. And
for 2 years.
We appreciate that. We also appreciate your service as an Air Force veteran. And there's so much about your resume and your life that is going to be celebrated. But let me start with this. What does this mean to you to be associated with sportsmanship and the great Stan Musial receiving this Lifetime Achievement Award?
Well, it's very moving for me as a kid growing up in Crystal City. Stan Musial was my, childhood sports hero. And, I would, my father would take me to games and we'd watch the Cardinals drive up Grand Avenue to Old Sportsman's Park and watch the Cardinals play. And of course, Stan the Man was the guy, and he was the clutch hitter for me. It was always the guy that came through. Obviously, he didn't come through all the time, but he came through when more times than not, and deserved to. And when he got 3,000 hits, it was like I got 3,000 hits. I was so proud of him.
I remember being at his memorial service at the Cathedral Basilica and listening to Bob Costas deliver the eulogy, and tears were streaming down my face. And when I left that day, I said, I want to be more like Stan Musial. And I think that is echoed by so many people around the country, and particularly here in St. Louis. How did you apply what you saw and learned from Stan Musial in your own life?
I think that he was a gentleman. I think he's a professional, a great athlete and a professional, a competitor. But he was also a gentleman, and he always conducted himself outside the game with dignity and respect. And that was a very important model for me early on. Obviously, my parents were the biggest model for me. But in terms of sports, it was Stan Musial and Bob Pettit. Those were the two when I was growing up.
You grew up in Crystal City, as I mentioned, played basketball at a very high level there, and then Princeton and the New York Knicks. I'll get into that in just a moment, but take me back to the days as Crystal City, making your name as a player. What kind of an experience was it?
It was great. I still have a lot of friends that are going to be at the ceremony on Saturday. And, we had a great coach in Arvel Pope, and I was lucky to have that kind of coach. He was a strict disciplinarian, and he gave us some leeway to create on the court. And I had great teammates. As I said, I think one or two will be at the event on Saturday. And but we never won the state championship. We lost to St. Louis U High in my junior year in high school. The state championship was always played at Wash U Fieldhouse, and we lost in my junior year to CBC in the semifinals. Then we lost to St. Louis U High in the finals of my senior year. So we never got to win the big title. I had to wait till I got to the pros to be a champion. But we came close in Crystal City. We lost by 1 point. And it was a sad night, but more fuel to the fire to excel down the road.
Yeah, it's a learning experience for sure. You came very close, and then you, as I mentioned, went to Princeton, and then made your name in the NBA with the New York Knicks. I am a Knicks fan. I grew up here in St. Louis, but I do root for the Knicks, and my feeling is that it has been a while.
You've had a tough time for the last 30 years, 40 years, maybe 50 years.
It's been a long time. But my feeling is that when the Knicks are good, you can talk Yankees, Mets, Giants, Jets, Rangers, Islanders, Brooklyn Nets, whatever the teams are. When the Knicks are good, the city's different. Do you feel that way? And take me back to the early 70s when you won two of them in 1970 and 73.
Yeah, I think playing in Madison Square Garden before 19,500 people who knew the game, who often applauded the pass that led to the pass that led to the basket. And in New York itself, with all the attention that shined on a successful team. And I think the city was taken with our selflessness and our teamwork.
and the fact that we won. And it was a unique time in the first championship. I think that was the year that the Mets won and the Jets won and the Knicks won. So all three teams became champions in the same year. And it was a magical time. But you can't take the championships away from the people I played with. I mean, Willis Reed, Walt Frazier, Dick Barnett, Earl Monroe, Jerry Lucas, and my roommate Dave DeBusschere. We were, and of course Phil Jackson. We were a group of people who respected each other and were selfless and disciplined and played a game that we all knew that no one of us could be as good as all five of us could be together.
A final word with Bill Bradley, the former Senator, Basketball Hall of Famer, and recipient of the Stan Musial Lifetime Achievement Award on Saturday. I also should have introduced you as an author because you've written 7 books, 2 of which focus on the values of fair play and sportsmanship. What message did you give and do you give to those who are playing sports?
Well, one of the books is called Values of the Game, and I write about the values that I learned playing basketball, which is, courage, discipline, respect, selflessness, imagination, responsibility, and others, and how you learn those at an early age. And if you have a great coach, or at least a good coach who does teach team basketball, you learn those values by the time you're in high school, sometimes earlier. And your ability might not be able to take you all the way to the pros, but those values stay with you for your whole life. And I wanted to celebrate those, and that's why I wrote The Values of the Game.
Congratulations. Oh, yeah, please.
Yeah. No, and for me, the Musial Award is a tremendous honor. As I said, he was my childhood hero, and I just did a performative autobiography that will premiere on HBO on February 1st. And in the biography, I talk about Stan. I do a imitation of him with his crouch and his bat. So he's always on my mind, even when I was creating this autobiography.
I love it. We might need to see that on Saturday at Stiefel Theater. MusialAwards.com. I'll see you Saturday. Thank you very much for this.
Again, 4:00 on CBS today. It is the Musial Awards, and Bill Bradley, Adam Wainwright among the honorees. What was an incredible night. I can't wait to see how they edit this down to just 1 hour on CBS. With all the NFL going on, they will get big ratings on CBS today for the Musial Awards. That's for sure. What an awesome event the St. Louis Sports Commission puts on in downtown St. Louis each and every year. If you get a chance to go and be part of that studio audience, essentially is what that is, you will be blown away. Mike Bush does a terrific job hosting, Mark Schreiber producing. It's a good one, the Musial Awards in downtown St. Louis. Well, thanks for being with us on this Christmas Eve. Sports on a Sunday morning wraps up now on KMOX. We look forward to bringing you the Jack Buck Awards following the noon news here on KMOX. Happy holidays.
Hi, this is Joe